Fog across the east. Rain pushing in from the west. A divided kingdom this Sunday morning. And as we step into the new week, that division becomes even more pronounced. I've been examining the latest data from the Met Office, cross-referencing with the ECMWF models, and what we're seeing is a classic January standoff. Continental air to our east, Atlantic systems to our west. The result is a rather messy picture that deserves a proper look. Let us start with what's happening right now this Sunday morning. If you are in East Anglia, the East Midlands, or Kent, visibility is your main concern. We are looking at significant fog patches, and I done to mean a light mist. In some low-lying areas near the estuaries and across the Vales of Lincolnshire, this is dense fog, the sort that cuts visibility down to 50 metres or less. The meteorology behind this is straightforward. We have stagnant air over the eastern counties. High pressure anchored over the continent is keeping things calm. Too calm, in fact. The moisture in that air has nowhere to go, so it's condensing out. If you're driving on the A14, the M11, or country lanes through Norfolk this morning, fog lights are essential. Take your time. This isn't going to lift quickly. Now, contrast that with the west. Cornwall, Devon, Cardiff, Glasgow. Completely different story. Fresh Atlantic air is pushing in, and it's bringing moisture with it. Rain started as drizzle in the early hours, but as people sit down for breakfast, we're seeing heavier showers organising across Wales and the southwest. The Irish Sea is the source of this weather. There's a weak frontal system draped across Western Britain, and it's not moving much. It's just sitting there, wringing out moisture. Not a washout by any means, but persistent enough to be a nuisance. Temperature-wise, the contrast is stark. The Scottish Highlands are dealing with a biting cold this morning. We are talking 3 degrees Celsius, perhaps lower in the glens, with a touch of frost on the grass. That's proper January weather. Meanwhile, Plymouth and Southampton are seeing 8 or 9 degrees. Remarkably mild for mid-January, though with the wind and rain, it won't feel particularly pleasant. London sits somewhere in the middle. The capital tends to hold on to its heat, so it's around 7 degrees this morning. Overcast skies, damp pavement, and that lingering threat of mist coming off the Thames. The outdoor cafes might be optimistic today. Let us talk about how this evolves through Sunday afternoon. That fog in the east is stubborn. Norwich, Ipswich, Dover, and much of the M25S eastern arc will see it struggle to lift. The sun in January simply doesn't have the strength to burn through it quickly. What tends to happen is it lifts into low stratus cloud, leaving you with a grey canopy overhead. We call this anticyclonic gloom. It's dry mostly, but expect to see blue sky. If you are a gardener in Suffolk or Cambridgeshire thinking about getting out to prune the roses, you can do it, but you'll need your thickest jumper. The air will feel raw. Temperatures might only climb to 4 or 5 degrees by mid-afternoon. Over in the west, the rain becomes more showery in nature. Wales, the Lake District, western Scotland. You might get breaks in the cloud. If you on the coast near Aberystwyth or Blackpool, you could catch a glimpse of sun in the afternoon. But these sunny intervals will be brief, sandwiched between showers that could be quite sudden. For Sunday afternoon peak temperatures, the south is where you will find the warmth. Relatively speaking, London and the home counties could reach 10 or 11 degrees Celsius. That is actually a touch above average for this time of year. But further north, it is a different picture. Edinburgh and Newcastle will struggle to get past 5 or 6 degrees. If the fog persists in Yorkshire, it will feel raw, barely climbing above 4 degrees. The weather across Northern Ireland on Sunday deserves a mention. Belfast and surrounding areas will see a mix of cloud and occasional bright spells. A few showers can be ruled out, particularly in the afternoon, but nothing too heavy. Temperatures around 6 or 7 degrees. The wind will be noticeable, though, coming from the southwest. Not strong enough to cause concern, but enough to make it feel colder than the thermometer suggests. Now, let us move forward to Monday, the 19th of January. This is where things start to change a bit. The general theme for Monday is variability. The cloud cover breaks up more than on Sunday. We're expecting sunny spells to develop, particularly in the northwest and Northern Ireland by the afternoon. But here's the thing. These sunny spells come with a price. Showers. The atmosphere is unstable. What does that mean in practical terms? You could be walking to the shops at lunchtime in brilliant sunshine, only to be caught in a heavy downpour 5 minutes later. That's the nature of showery weather. It's patchy, it is unpredictable, and it catches people out. The fog risk in the east should be lower on Monday than Sunday. A gentle breeze helps to churn up the atmosphere. So better visibility for East Anglia and Lincolnshire, though it will still feel chilly. Temperature-wise on Monday, we are looking at highs of 11 degrees again in the south. Bristol, Southampton, and even parts of the southeast could see this. It remains remarkably mild for mid-January in these areas. Further north, slightly better than Sunday. Manchester and Leeds might reach 7 or 8 degrees. Scotland remains the cold spot, with highs of 5 to 6 degrees. One thing to note for Monday evening, and this is important, as the skies clear in the north, the temperature will drop sharply after sunset. If you are driving home late on Monday night in Scotland or northern England, watch out for icy patches on untreated roads. The gridders will be out on main routes, but minor roads and rural lanes could catch you out. Let me explain the meteorology driving all of this, because understanding the why helps you understand what S coming next. We have a blocking pattern set up across Europe. High pressure is anchored over Scandinavia and Western Russia. This is forcing Atlantic low-pressure systems to take a more northerly route, clipping Scotland and Northern Ireland, but leaving much of England under the influence of that continental air. The jet stream, which normally drives our weather from west to east, has gone a bit wobbly. It's split. One branch is running well to our north across Iceland, the other is further south, affecting Biscay and northern France. We re-stuck in between. That is why we're re-seeing this east-west divide. The ECMWF model and the UKMO model are in reasonable agreement on this pattern, holding through Monday. But beyond that, there is some uncertainty. The GFS model suggests the high pressure might retrograde westward by midweek, allowing colder air to push further south. The ECMWF is less convinced. It keeps things broadly similar. What does this mean for you? It means Sunday and Monday are reasonably well forecast. High confidence. But by Tuesday and Wednesday, we are into lower confidence territory. The pattern could shift. Keep an eye on updates. Now let's address something that often gets overlooked in weather forecasts. The feel of the weather. The numbers on a thermometer only tell you part of the story. If you ray in the southeast on Sunday and you see 10 degrees on your weather app, you might think that sounds mild. And numerically, it is. But with damp air and no sunshine, it will feel colder than 10 degrees. The moisture saps heat from your body. Layer up. A waterproof outer layer is essential, even if it's not raining heavily. In Scotland, 3 degrees feels like 3 degrees. It is honest cold, crisp and dry, the sort where you can see your breath. But at least you can dress for it. You know what you are dealing with. The worst conditions, in terms of how they feel, are probably in Wales and the northwest on Sunday. Mild temperatures, but wet and breezy. That combination is miserable. It's the sort of weather where nothing quite dries out. If you're reworking outdoors, multiple changes of clothing wouldn't go amiss. Let's talk about the broader context for a moment. Where does this fit in the January picture? This isn't unusual weather for mid-January. We've seen far worse. Many of you will remember the winter of 62 to 63, the big freeze. That was cold. Snow from Boxing Day through to March. Temperatures well below what we're re-seeing now. Or the beast from the east in 2018. That brought Siberian air across the country. Minus 14 Celsius in parts of Scotland. Significant snow even in the southeast. What we're re-dealing with now is mild by comparison. But that doesn't mean we should dismiss it. Fog is dangerous, wet roads are slippery, and that temperature drop on Monday night could catch people out. It's not about fear-mongering. It's about being prepared. For those of you in the east dealing with fog on Sunday morning, here is some practical advice. If you can delay your journey until late morning, do so. The fog should lift by then, at least partially. If you must drive, use dipped headlights, not full beam. Full beam just reflects off the fog and makes visibility worse. And increase your following distance. Give yourself time to react. For those in the west dealing with rain, check your guttering before Monday. There's been a fair bit of water coming down, and if your gutters are blocked, you'll have problems. Also, if you are walking the dog or out for a stroll, layers and waterproofs. The rain isn't heavy enough to stop you going out, but it's persistent enough to soak through inadequate clothing. For gardeners across the country, Sunday isn't ideal for outdoor work. The west is too wet, the soil will be waterlogged, the east is dry, but you'll be working in gloom and cold. Monday afternoon might offer better conditions if the sunny spells materialize, but keep an eye on those showers. For anyone planning outdoor activities, hill walking in particular, the Scottish Highlands deserve respect this weekend. Temperatures are cold enough for snow on higher ground. Visibility could be poor. If you are heading up Munros, full winter kit is essential. Map, compass, warm layers, emergency shelter. Tell someone where you're going. One more point about Monday evening. The elderly and vulnerable should be particularly careful. That sharp temperature drop after sunset means indoor heating needs to be adequate. If you have elderly neighbours, perhaps check in on them. Make sure they re-warm enough. Now, looking beyond Monday, what can we expect? The models diverge a bit, as I mentioned. But the general theme seems to be continued variability. We're not looking at settled weather. nor are we looking at a major storm system. It is a continuation of this mixed pattern. Some areas will see rain, others will stay dry. Temperatures will remain near or slightly above average for the south, below average for Scotland. There is a possibility, and I stress it as only a possibility at this range, that colder air could push further south by the end of the week. If the high pressure does retrograde westward, that opens the door for northerly or northeasterly winds. That would bring a sharper feel to the weather, particularly in the east. But we lie 4 or 5 days out. Confidence is low. I'm not going to speculate too much. What I will say is that the pattern doesn't look like it's settling down anytime soon. Keep checking forecasts. Things could change. Let me give you a quick regional summary to close this out. Scotland. Cold and mostly dry on Sunday, though the Western Isles will see some rain. Monday brings sunny spells and showers. Watch for ice Monday night. Temperatures 3 to 6 degrees, Northern Ireland. Cloudy with occasional bright spells and a few showers on Sunday. More sunshine on Monday, but also more showers. Temperatures 6 to 7 degrees, northwest England. Rain on Sunday, particularly in Cumbria and the Lake District. Monday sees improvement with sunny spells, but showers remain a threat. Temperatures 7 to 9 degrees, northeast England. Fog possible on Sunday morning, then mostly cloudy. Monday brings better visibility and some sunshine. Watch for ice Monday night. Temperatures 4 to 7 degrees, Yorkshire and the Humber. Fog risk on Sunday, especially in low-lying areas. Cloudy and cold. Monday improves with some sunshine. Temperatures 5 to 8 degrees. The Midlands, cloudy and rather grey on Sunday. Dry for most areas. Monday brings sunny spells and the odd shower. Temperatures 7 to 10 degrees. East Anglia, significant fog on Sunday morning, then anticyclonic gloom. Monday sees better visibility. Dry for most of the weekend. Temperatures 5 to 9 degrees. Southeast England. Fog patches possible on Sunday, then cloudy, mild temperatures around 10 degrees. Monday similar with some sunny breaks. Watch for showers. Southwest England. Rain on Sunday, heavy at times in Cornwall and Devon. Monday brings sunny spells and showers. Mild temperatures 9 to 11 degrees. Wales. Wet on Sunday, particularly in the west. Monday improves with sunshine and showers. Temperatures 7 to 10 degrees. To sum up then, Sunday is a day of contrasts, fog and gloom in the east, rain and wind in the west. Not a pleasant day for outdoor activities, but not dangerous either. Just typically British and grey. Monday brings improvement in terms of sunshine, but the trade-off is showers, more variability. And that sharp temperature drop Monday evening is something to watch, particularly in the north. Beyond Monday, the pattern remains unsettled. We are not seeing anything dramatic on the horizon, but nor are we seeing settled weather. Keep your umbrella handy, keep your layers ready, and keep checking the forecasts because things could shift. Whatever your plans for the remainder of the weekend and into the new week, stay safe, stay informed, and make sensible decisions based on the conditions in your area. That is the best advice I can give you. From the weather desk, that's your comprehensive look at what is ahead.